Ah, idyllic landscapes, silence, green, sleepy construction sites in the woods. But what the heck? This was the motto of the big hacking conference that took place for the fourth time since 1993. The numerous presentations were about technology, privacy, sustainable energy usage and much more. During the first meetings, women had been a total exception and often just travel companions. But this time many more women found the way onto the Dutch campsite. Not only as participants, but also as speakers. What kind of beings are they? Shy researchers? Or simple users who have just a slight clue about technology? Not really. Interesting, sometimes highly special technology topics have been discussed in a friendly and open way. Something the audience often misses during technological lectures. Fabienne Serrièr is an American of French descent who now lives in Paris and deals with music technology. At the age of 4, she experimented with the studio at home and later turned her hobby into her profession. Multi-channel audio is her field of expertise, which means that 5.1 Dolby Surround is just a very basic thing for her. She saws and solders her own equipment, like a smooth scarf that also works as a keypad, or a little box that mimics complex spaces on your table. What does Fabienne think why there are so few women on the IT sector?
I think it's part of the culture that we pass on to boys, how to take things apart, and girls maybe don't have that culture as much. It's very interesting to me because I always took things apart when I was little, but I think a lot of girls are taught to be scared that they may break something. So maybe it's cultural, and maybe not. Maybe it's just we need more people in it. I don't know.
And how does she feel as a woman among all those men?
I get treated a little bit specially. I'm always, if I need help, there's always someone there. The environment that I've been in, I've never had problems with anyone thinking that I was not as good or that I was not able to do the same things or even better things than they do. So I have never really had a problem with sexism or any of those problems.
Melanie Rieback thinks about ways to use RFID tags, the new, quite controversial intelligent tags that are supposed to make logistics easier for supermarkets and such. Her father is a project manager, the mother is a programmer. So like Fabienne, Melanie got in touch with technology at a very early age. She moved from the USA to the Netherlands for working on her PhD. Are there differences between Dutch and American women?
I've noticed that actually there's quite a bit fewer women here as opposed to back in the US, for example, at my last job. Sometimes attitudes of women are a bit more traditional.
And does she feel bad about the special status?
I don't mind. I mean, quite frankly, as a woman in a guy's profession, you get a lot of attention that way, and there's some advantages to that. It's somewhat easier to meet people that way, so I have no problem with being a woman in a man's profession.
Not so happy about Melanie's presentation was Rena Tangens. She felt that RFID had been dealt with way too friendly. Rena is an artist. Among other things, the projects that she puts into work together with her partner Padeloon often deal with privacy and data security. They founded the Phobot organization, which, for example, sells a little thing that can read and even write RFID tags while passing the tagged goods. Rena and Padeloon had a presentation about the Big Brother Awards and how they are spreading across different countries. What does she think are the problems of women in IT?
I think that today there are millions of women who use computers and don't think it's something special. That's not the problem. But female programmers, system administrators or hardware designers are still hard to find. But I think that too will improve. My concern is the subtle kind of special treatment of women and the habit to consider the male perspective as the normal, common and beautiful one, and the female aspect as the exception. That is called androcentrism. It's a very subtle way because it is a kind of mentality that cannot be revealed easily.
Something totally different is Stefanie Wehner's topic. Her presentation about quantum cryptography was full of vivid examples and funny slides, but dealt with extremely special areas that can hardly be imagined by average people. The audience could forget about their school lessons about physics. But still, or maybe because of the very special nature of Stefanie's lecture, the biggest tent was filled completely until the enthusiastic applause at the end. What's Stefanie's explanation of the lack of women in IT?
I think that people learn as early as kindergarten and school that women do different things than men do, and that there are different expectations regarding women and men. Often men are all hat, no cattle. Maybe that's not nice to say, but that's the way it is. And therefore, I think that many women sometimes feel that they aren't as good and that they can do less when in fact that is not the case.
And does it feel strange among all the men?
I must say that I'd like to see more women around, but I'm dealing with it for such a long time now that I have got used to it.
So whose fault is it? School? Our culture? A lack of role models? Institutions? Maybe something of each. The important thing is that we don't let that hinder us from picking our field of interest. Stefanie is just the right words for that.
When somebody says, maybe after my presentation, quantum cryptography is something that I'd like to do, then I say, go for it. I think people should always do what they really want to do.
All presentations can be downloaded as videos from the What the Heck website. All you need is a good internet connection. The next conference will be held in 4 years, and it would be great to welcome many interested women on the campsite. Knowledge means power, and curiosity is all it takes.